instead. That's nice to see. So even though we haven't seen North Georgia really be able to march forward with a lot of convincing attacks, at least the back line up until now has been secure. Can't get the read on the bounce, and that's finally our first goal. 10 seconds to go for Kennesaw trying to close this one out.
Yeah, still with the pressure here from Kennesaw. Now only our second demo. This one from downtown, and that's going to be an own goal here at 3 seconds. We spoke a little too soon here, Danger Talk. Slavip, left side, little tap, not really taking away possession. Now definitely does. Displayer going up, the double tap. Hugh Dog and North Georgia come from behind victory with the Puma symbol on the side.
As we have seen many time with new rosters in the beginning of the semester, this might be the first time these players are really playing together at all. So this is really setting the tone for how you guys all click together. Kwong trying to bury one here on the near post, and he does just that. Better. Be able to pad those stats. Kwong throwing it right back in. That should be open, but it's just wide instead.
Almost gets the nose down onto it. A couple members fighting, twisting, and now an open net the other way going for North Georgia. Nobody's almost hitting payload. Now is Joel. A little soft hit right there. Kind of just puts it in the breadbasket of a couple North Georgia players. That's really, really bad as this one comes all the way down from the other side.
Being able to con the defense out of a clear that gets you the ultimate goal, as we will be able to enter into that 1-1. Maybe not for long as that clear gets away. Hugh Dog into Archie, and well worked from North Georgia. Safe to the side. They're feeling like heroes. They're keeping it up. Slavip into the ceiling. Sharky doesn't get it. Joel with a deflection. It's Quonk at 0. Hugh Dog in the way. Another save. North Georgia will very much so take that ball hitting the grass. Overtime somehow.
Now coming up for the serve. Hugh Dog down. That's a bouncer just a little bit too high though as Sharky tries to continue the theme. Down bottom. And Archie does it here for North Georgia. Set up all day long. Now shoots in right now, but Quonk is going to win that 50. Seems screaming off to the side. Bounce off some wall and now in the middle until North Georgia gets another shot at it.
Let's be open for Hugh Dog, and they will make no mistake. Kwong, I gotta say, a great effort, but sometimes you need something even greater. You're seeing a player get thrown all the way across, like Joel's really just flailing, and you're thinking, okay, well, I probably have enough time to go to the corner, and then instead, it is in your net, something they're becoming quite familiar with as a feeling. There's a number.
Demo does come through, those Hugh Dog taking down a Kennesaw State member. Back to the middle, screaming up to this one, now to the left side. All three members right here. This is a very bottled up defense, and Sharky takes a bite.
No one even there because, frankly, I think Kennesaw thought that bounce was going to be going a different direction. Same maybe with the defense here for UNG. They can't read it. Slavip does. It's 1-1. They were actually on the far side waiting for an awkward touch and then dove in and actually used their flip.
And welcome everyone to week 1 of ECAC. My name is Rare Adam. Alongside me is Vincent. We get to cast together for the first time in a long time. I'm always behind the camera. You're always in front of the camera. I'm usually meowing at you behind the scenes, but we get to cast together for the first time in a long time. We get to be back here on Esports U. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing very good. I think it was actually Esports U that we were last together on camera as well. So it's fitting, very fitting indeed. And week 1 of ECAC, things have been getting kicked off, and I'm excited to be here. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, of course, Buffalo State versus Tiffin to start things off in week 1. And always at the beginning of these semesters, at the beginning of these seasons, it's all about feeling out how these teams are going to do. You don't really get the best gauge on how a lot of these teams are going to perform until you get later on into the season. But of course, you want to start off with a bang. You want to really get your foot sort of in the door there and really start your season off well.
Yeah, fake news up at the top of the screen. Tiffin have not yet won a map that we haven't started playing. Thought they could get away with that in the back room. They could not. But nonetheless, yeah, gotta get that strong start, and also just kind of get a feel for where you're at with the season. Like you said, just starting. You never know in scrims if you're just playing well in scrims, and until those officials start getting going, it's always a little bit of a question mark. As we both know, the scrim bucks are sometimes liars, and so it doesn't always prove exactly what you would be expecting. With that said, Tiffin University and Buffalo State squads, I think it's fair to say you and I not a lot of information going into this, but let's take a peek at what we have on the docket with this pick and ban, Adam.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see that Split is picked by Buffalo State because, as you and I have seen a lot, with a lot of the collegiate teams, they put Split as that third map. They really like to save that as sort of the decider. They're really impartial to it. They say, you know what, we could pick it, but we might as well just let them pick it. And they're like, oh, we don't really want to ban it. We'll let them ban it. And then no one does anything about it. It's always that last map. So Haven is going to be that final map instead, which is also sort of a collegiate classic. And something that you and I have talked a lot about is teams that pick Haven, or this is something Plausible was really vocal on. Teams that pick Haven always lose on Haven. This time, no one picked Haven. It was just left there. So neither of them can lose, right?
I actually think there's some really cool psychology behind it. I think the reason we see Split often picked or often left as the decider is because nobody really loves Split. You know, as much as it's a good-ish map with the changes, nobody loves to play Split. So I think that's why it often gets left. Haven's on the opposite. Everybody kind of does enjoy playing Haven, but at this point, everybody plays Haven. So that's why people who pick it, they don't realize they're kind of shooting themselves in the foot by picking a map that their opponents are good at. It's that back and forth of psychology. With that said, Lotus our first pick, and that is Tiffin's selection. We'll get into the agent select here as well. Anything crazy that we should be looking out for? Okay, I almost saw something crazy. We almost had a Yoru. I would have been excited.
Yeah, but we also got a Reyna just locked in right off the bat here. Double Duelist going to be the option from Tiffin already. Normally it's the Jet Raze that you'd normally see, but Jet is still picked. It's the Raze that isn't picked up, and Reyna coming into the folds instead. I guess it still gives you that utility with the Leer in some ways, but it's an interesting sort of switch up from the side of Tiffin here. They're not going to go for sort of the firepower of the Raze, as their mascot may suggest. They're going to go for that with Breach instead, and they're just going to go for the pure gunplay of Reyna as well. On the flip side, this is more of the standard comp that you're expecting. Drugga opting for that Brimstone Hover for now. I want to see if that gets locked in, because normally it's that Omen or the Astra that gets picked up, but once again, always these little tweaks here and there from these teams, especially early on into the season when you're still trying to feel out how the teams are going to play.
And I also think that, and this is a point I like to make pretty often, I think that comfort is a factor here, most certainly, especially with regard to that Reyna, right? Like, if there is an agent to select that will give you that carry potential, it is Reyna. Like, yeah, Raze can do that too, but as you were alluding to, you do get a little bit more of the standard utility that you typically would get. Reyna is all about taking those gunfights, and if you can win them, well, Reyna is that perfect agent for you. So I think that maybe is what the thought process is from the side of Tiffin, but we shall see if Gunky Gamer, great name by the way, we have a couple of those coming in, if Gunky Gamer can make that happen. And if they can, well, then big payoffs, right? But like you're talking about, maybe some difficulties when it comes to the overall amount of utility that you have to work with as a squad.
Yeah, and of course, we're not even going to bother with the Killjoy's name. Killjoy will be known as Killjoy from henceforth, because unfortunately I cannot read Korean. Vincent, have you been studying much Korean either?
I have not. I will say I haven't. I think that's Mia, though, I believe.
We will figure it out as time goes on.
I realize I could have gaslit you and just said that I knew. But...
Oh.
Okay.
But it's Shibo. Early pickup with that Ghost on the Jet. Getting in onto the site very quickly, and lots of action towards this A side as Shivo gets taken down, traded out by Gunky Gamer, trades back and forth as finally Buffalo State just trying to hold their serve here a little bit. Han Solo Burger going to be planting as we get into the 3v3 post plant.
Another great name, but Drugga can make their way forward. Brimstone has one Sky Smoke left to put down, trying to clear out angles, but Bruno swinging wide from the long angle. And pretty much everybody winning their fight at the same time, allowing for Tiffin to get that opening pistol round victory. I like the pacing of that round from Tiffin, right? They took the initial point of contact, and I mean, you mentioned Shravoxy hit that first shot, but just were patient with it. Tiffin didn't necessarily overwhelm immediately. They waited for the spacing to be correct so that they could get that trade frag and eventually the site.
Yeah, I think just playing their angles well at that. After Tiffin got that spike down, they were just able to find all the 1v1s necessary effectively, but it was a good hold for a little bit from Buffalo State there. Now we flip the map. The opposite side here, C site is the angle of Zeptic. Just dropping everything here already, but playing right to that Killjoy setup can always be a little bit of a scary situation. Just walk right past it. There is no resistance here thus far, as Spike just going to get planted down by Zeptic.
Okay, I was getting a little scared. I'm not sure who it was there with the shorty close range, but could have maybe gotten a free kill out of that. Doesn't end up getting the successful shots off. Speaking of shorties, Shravoxy, this could be fun and interesting. Patience will be key, but maybe if they wait long enough, they'll get something out of that.
But unfortunately, the rest of the team is starting to crumble around them. Shravoxy is sort of hiding in this corner. They have an idea about where Shravoxy might be, but they don't really want to peek into another shorty. Seems as if Tiffin just going to be holding some angles for a little bit, making sure they don't get cheesed out here, but Shravoxy is actually going to peek into this. Will end up falling to the spike here as Tiffin convert on their anti-eco 2-0 for the Dragons over there.
That is a tragedy. That's so patient, waiting so valiantly. Doesn't get any chance to use that shorty. You hate to see it. Though, apparently, the shorty wasn't enough, because look what we have. The best gun in the game, as you well know. My opinions are clear. Yeah, the judge out for Wheaton.
Ooh. Yeah, it's an aggressive pickup here as well, especially considering Raze is one of those agents where you can really get away with using that judge to its greatest effect. You just sort of double satchel in. A lot of the times you're just sort of looking up in the sky, oh, where'd they go, where'd they go? And all of a sudden you're getting judged down. The whole hammer of the law will come down on you, but it doesn't seem like anyone's going to peek into it quite yet. Gunky Gamer, though, needs to be careful here. He's sort of sussed out there by that boombot. Now, sort of going to back off for now, though. Gamer still looking for it. A little bit of damage being dealt. Will be able to deal with that raise early. Skunky Gamer finds entry onto site. The rest of the team considering the push onto B at this point.
Oh, and if Gunky gets this kill, that is going to be tough to retake. Position gained and shots connected. Gunky Gamer for all three of the frags in this round for Tiffin. Keeping it moving, but that is the opposite of angles for Drugga. Really no chance for Gunky Gamers to expect that. Drugga will get one more, and it's a trade from Mia, but look, it's 1v2.
Yeah, and unfortunately, Zeptic is behind enemy lines. Pulls out the gun. Will they go for the knife kill? Oh, they're spraying, they're spraying. Oh, man, Zeptic might have lost the scope of things for a little bit, but I was thinking they were going to go for the big old hammer bash there with the Christmas wand, but instead it's just another round converted for Tiffin, as unfortunately for Mia, you got to check behind you from once in a while.
Yeah, no bonks given, though, which is a little bit of a disappointment. I was hoping. Yeah. Listen, it's boring if it's just a knife, but the bonk, I mean, that's better. Marshall or two? Actually, just a Marshall. And we got... Man, shotguns have been a pretty big strategy part of this game. Into round 4. This is like the 6th one we've seen.
They're feeling it at this point, but Zeptic just shuts them down, sort of rights the wrongs for having a little bit of a spray moment there. Just clears out one very quickly. Lung Collapser finds Shravoxy as well. Wheaton, though, will finally trade back with that Bucky. Use those satchels to move over, almost able to pick up Han Solo Burger, but instead it will be sight given over to Tiffin once again. Drugga was able to pick up another one on the side.
Decent damage done already with Mia taking fights over at the C position. Despite the spike being planted today, that is decent amount of damage done. Weaponry collected, not so much. Drugga might actually just want to hang on to this, given the amount of time that it's taking for the rotation for Mia, but looks like they'll poke their nose in anyway, despite the low HP. One Collapser hearing the Skilljoy coming. This is going to be a tough one. In fact, it's over. Han Solo Burger going to get the closer and a clean sweep of these first 5 rounds. Or 4 rounds, excuse me.
Yeah, and the ice is a little bit too much for the fire that's lit under the brimstone there. Drugga was able to find a nice little pick there. Unfortunately, that site just a little bit too difficult to push onto, especially with the pressure of the timer coming down. But of course, opposite side, full buys once again. Wheaton, I think the full buy is just a judge every single time. I feel as if Wheaton is very comfortable with that judge, and I don't know if they're going to buy a rifle this game. I'm going to say it very early on. Might just be a judge angle.
Yeah, it kind of feels that way, doesn't it? And to be fair, it has worked before. I mean, especially back on Split. I haven't seen it on Lotus, but early Split gamers just on the raise, judge only, even in Tier 2, definitely happened and definitely was relatively successful. Ooh. Bruno looking for that, and there's that judge getting activated. No way to dismiss if you don't get that frag, and Wheaton is in no-go zone.
New situation, going to be a lot on the heads of Breno and Lung Collapser. They're going to go out just to sort of peek out at it, but Shavoxy, very good for 4 there. Flawless round for Buffalo State. You'd never think they lost the first 4 rounds with how they played that one out.
Yeah, I mean, and a lot of credit to Shavoxy. Obviously, that opening pick, courtesy of Wheaton, but Shavoxy just locking down that one sight line, that one angle, the initial couple of kills. I think one of those was through the smoke, but the first one, maybe an overcommitment from Tiffin trying to find a timing. They made that work in the first gun round. Didn't work so well in the second, finding the timing out to be with that guy smoke down. With that said, listen, Tiffin may have lost that last round, but they're by no means out of this thing, and it's 4 immediately over towards the A site. Shavoxy spotting out some information as well. We'll be calling that over.
Yeah, 4 members on either side on this A site. They are looking to duel here. Shavoxy already trying to find some of those early picks, but look at where Throat Destroyer has gone up here. Looking for something. Gunky Gamer actually going to be the first one to go up. Lung Destroyer. Collapser. Sorry. Oh my god. I'm going to get messed up with that name. Lung Collapser. Able to find a trade onto Drugga there. That's what happens when you take too many Druggas. Your lungs end up collapsing. As all that action, all for just a 1-for-1.
This late play around door, Lung Collapser might get caught depending on the timing. Oh, is going to get away. The rotation over to C and Mia. Well, could have maybe stuck around, but had to be very committed to that angle with the aftershock through, so it elects to fall back into the dark cover. It will allow the spike to get planted. Blades a possibility for the Jet on the retake for Buffalo, and beyond that, 4v4 as we head into the retake.
And Mia just sort of forced back on their haunches here just a little bit, but Wheaton says, nah, I'm not going to be forced back into the middle of them. There is the law of the land once again. Unfortunately, everyone else is collapsing at the hands of the Lung Collapser there. OT Freeze will find a trade, find 2 in fact, and now it is down to the 1v1 Lung Collapser. Not a lot of health. Has to try and clutch this one out. Lung Collapser already good for 3 this round. Getting around the corner. That does find the timing. That's a 4K back the opposite way as Tiffin strike back.
Back-to-back Jet 4Ks in this map, and well, Tiffin, yeah, extending their lead now back to 4, but it feels like the individuality that we were talking about pre-game coming to fruition. By the way, I really would have liked to see a bit better coordination from Buffalo State. If they're going to have Wheaton just kind of like running in there, then they need to have Wheaton like ready to go. And they need the rest of the team to walk in with them.
Get that showstopper online as oh, there we go, we're back. Just a Valorant client moment, and in fact, oh man, already into the smoke. Wheaton finds one. Lung Collapser is collapsed. Breach ultimate, not really gonna find too much value. Here comes showstopper the opposite way. We'll find another one as Wheaton is good for 2 already, traded out by Breno. That's a great way. You know what? Forget all the mid-round talk. Just get right into the action. Wheaton, Shavoxy now getting on the board as well.
Gunky Gamer is in a very interesting spot, though. Could absolutely turn the tide of this round with this Empress, but gets shot in the back of the head, or side of the head, as OT Freeze walks onto the site, finds finds the timing on Solo Burger. Needing to clutch here. It's a 1v4, little fake on the Shrouded Step, and OT Freeze at least falling away for the time being. There is plenty of time, but the Trailblazer gonna get some information on where this Omen is located and how they're going to be playing things.
And Han Soloberger has a lot of time to play with. It's more so they don't have a whole lot of utility. One of those smokes just came back up, but nothing else. No blind, no TPs. You can't really play many of those mind games. Will opt to go through tree. Find it with OT Freeze. Finds a second one at the very least. Shivoxy, though, now holding it down. It's going to be pretty masterful if he's able to get it. Cast a curse as it is. Shivoxy shuts it down.
It did get a little spooky. Not quite a clean execution there, but again, the fact that Wheaton is finding such consistent success with that judge is reason enough for me to say, hey, keep on buying it. It's working, man. Unfortunately, got caught at a very long angle there after the showstopper, but you get two, that should usually be enough to give your team a massive chance of success. And this time, Shivoxy could even have a Blade Storm to add to that. Actually, could see an anime battle if things got crazy. It's going to be the early Blades for Tiffin.
And Tiffin, despite their early lead, it seems as if their economy was kept in check for a large portion of that. So unfortunately for them, back on a little bit of a save here, but nonetheless, still playing as aggressively as ever. Lots of presence shown towards C-Site. Now just rotating over towards A once again. Slowly but surely they creep their way up. Unfortunately, there's nothing that Buffaloes they can do. They have been duped, so to speak. They're just so lost on this map right now. Zeptic able to find OT Freeze. Oh!
Wheaton. That's so unfortunate. Like you said, just found in order to not only get that kill, but deny rotations for such a long time. And the Blades are now into position. Lung Collapser got to be looking the right way. Very scary. Going to take the engagement. Eventually gets the reset. No headshots to be found as the Operator does find success. But the 1-on-3 simply seems a little too much to ask. Jump spot, a bit ambitious from Zeptic. But it is indeed a done round for Tiffin. This was an eco/sheriff round, and they come away with it. The Blades, not even really the crucial part. It's the space given there on stairs and allowing for Tiffin to just walk up and find a flank.
Just a little bit of unfortunate timing from Wheaton as well. Sort of got wrapped around on there, despite sort of holding that smoke with the judge. That's the correct play to do if you've got someone watching stairs at the same time. So unfortunately, the side of Buffalo State, they drop a Thrifty to Tiffin here. Now, that economy for them looking significantly better here. And you talked about the anime battle that we missed out on between Lung Collapser and Shivoxy. Instead, it will be the battle of the operators. But no, never mind. Lung Collapser just wants me to be wrong about it. My bad.
Yeah, I mean, I guess joining me in that hope. Little trolling out of the way, though. Yeah, Blades, I guess, in addition. Ooh, a little dink through the edge of the wall. We do get the battle of the Jets, just not in the fashion of which we had expected or had hoped. Have to run away, get that heal from the sky. That does temporarily leave the A site very open to the push, but Tiffin hasn't taken advantage of that. Of course, they also didn't know about it.
And that operator actually on OT Freeze's hands right now. Very difficult to retake with that gun, as we've mentioned multiple times before. Breno will find that opener onto Druga. Now, onto the site they march. Mia trying to hold this one down with their own lockdown, but it's taken down, and they will push the lockdown. They should be able to find that destruction of it, and C-Site is all for the taking here. Multiple members behind here. It's a big swing coming through from Gunky Gamer. OT Freeze is good for one with the operator up above. Oh my goodness, manages to land a no-scope there, but Han Solo Burger shuts it down. It was nothing, everything, and the round goes towards Tiffin.
I don't know what it was, if it was a fault line or if it was a paranoia. Whatever it was, though, that catches all three of those defenders rotating back in was just round the winning. Chef's kiss to that bit of utility. Absolutely superb. Yeah, it was, I think maybe both, actually. Yeah, there goes the fault line right after the paranoia. Nice shot from OT Freeze. Too bad. It's too bad it was in a losing effort, though.
Yeah, it would have been nice to put on the clip if it's like your 1v1 or something, as Shoxi able to do a nice little 101 there. The breach. Unfortunately, once again, on a save for Buffalo State, they're going to have a little bit of trouble holding this. So much so that Wheaton can't afford the judge this time. Only the Bucky to hold. It does not matter. Gunky Gamer is turned into a bunch of gunk on the ground there. Zeptic, though, trades it out. Shavoxi finds another one, and Buffalo State sort of holding the line here as much as possible.
Nice little juke peek there. That's going to give some space up onto the site. Now Zeptic isolating a duel to OT Freeze, and up in the Heaven, Shavoxi dealing with all sorts of utility. A flashpoint followed by a fault line, or vice versa, actually. Upgrade onto a Sheriff at least. But this 3v3 now much more difficult with the spike planted. And though, as I say that, Zeptic, if that duel had been isolated, things could have turned badly, but Zeptic is winning all the fights, it seems, this round, and leaving it just up to the Brimstone Drugga. No scope, maybe? See another one.
I mean, with the Marshall, it's perfect accuracy hit fire if you're not moving. Will not be able to find it. Zeptic has perfect accuracy this round, apparently. 4K for the breach. And Tiffin move up to 8 here. And of course, we have to look at sort of the map statistics on this as well. In general, Lotus seen as more attack-sided than defender-sided. But at a certain point, you have to assume that you got to pick some rounds up here and there. Buffalo State might be going into this second half here down 7-8 rounds at that. Is it possible? Is it possible for them to come back from a 10-2 half, in your opinion? Or, on the flip side, 8-4, not as bad, correct?
Oh, certainly not as bad. Possible, yes. Difficult, very much so, on the 10-2 side of things. You guys got to also keep in mind, listen, this is Tiffin's map pick. I think it's fair to mention that as like a key context to the score line that we're talking about. But, yeah. The point being, BSU, they need routes, and they need them now.
Yeah. It doesn't matter how many kills you get, doesn't matter how you get the rounds, doesn't matter if it's, you know, the messiest timeout win of your life. You got to get that number on your side to go from 2 to something more than 2 at this point, because Tiffin, they felt as if they're in a lot of control in this game. They've gone on huge streaks of times. Weenie, oh my goodness, needs to be careful. Lung Collapse are still able to find one. Onto Mia on the opposite side. Nice little rotation over. Spike gets planted here. Gunky Gamer still lurking around. Sees the ponytail there. Just a hat of Drugga. Wrong agent there. Too many beer bros. Unfortunately for Wheaton. Very difficult retake.
Yeah. I think the best chance for Wheaton was that like spam battle inside of the smoke that we saw go down. Didn't end up doing anything much more than a little tickle to the offense, since looks like save has already been the call. At this point, that is reasonable, but as we talked about just a moment ago, rounds, it's time to get those. Maybe they can get some exits, and OT Freeze will do just that. Nice shots. I mean, this is going to be 3 kills at least.
Yeah, honestly, not bad at the end of the day. Wheaton putting a rifle in their hands for the first time all game here. We'll just end up tossing that over to one of the homies at this point. That's a ridiculous statement to make at this point.
Checks round count. Going into round 12. Has rifle for first time.
Now has the judge back in hand just in case, but Tiffin.
That doesn't go there.
Just sort of looking at the wall. He's like, yeah. That's for Satchel to get dropped now at this point. But nonetheless, for Wheaton.
Buy Satchel, please.
Yeah. If only. Imagine if you could buy util for your teammates or something. That'd be a little ridiculous. Drugga. Nice little pickup there. Gunky, though. Gonna turn that one back around. Aggressive push forward. Gunky Gamer just trying to say, no, we're not going to get 9-3. We're not going to get any sort of crazy rounds. Oh, no, the wall! The timing on it. Gunky Gamer is absolutely disgusting with it right now. I need to stop casting cursing these players. Shavoxi turns it back around. But still, the numbers are not in Buffalo State's advantage. Tiffin 3v1, and Shavoxi needs to come up huge.
Shavoxi needing to do the same as they did in one of the 2 previous rounds that we've seen BSU win. Get 4, and 4 will not be had. Brino to shut that down. And, I mean, you didn't curse the 10-2. It did happen.
Yeah, at the very least, I'm sure Buffalo State would have preferred that I curse it in some way, shape, or form, but Gunky finding 1, 2, and unfortunately, OT Freeze caught on the dog. Does not matter if you're stunned up. That first shot's still going to land. And Tiffin, they are rolling.
The worst part about that is Gunky Gamer is just invisible. Like,
yeah.
Like, there was no chance for OT Freeze to see what was coming.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Nerf Reyna, make her visible during your ult. Something like that. Honestly, that's one of those situations where, like, yeah, it's a little bit BS from time to time to just go invisible forehead.
I mean, that is why it's the ult, to be fair.
Yeah. Just know where they are. Figure it out. But nonetheless,
audio cues, you know, it's fine. Whatever.
Oh.
Just shoot the head.
Yeah, that's a great pick.
Shavoxy trying out that new strategy. Revolutionary, actually, I would say. Judge. I'm so used to it. Have a judge. That's a shorty. No judge in the first round. Almost caught a timing. Back towards C, though. The SU going to give it their best shot.
On to sight here. Breno, though, shuts it down. 2 with the classic free gun, but only 3 on the board. Lung Collapser picks one up as well, and now it is all down to Mia. The 1v4 able to find 1, but Lung Collapser finds another round. It's 11 on the board for Tiffin. Just like their dragon may be breathing, they are on fire right now. 2 more rounds to close this one out. And they've looked pretty unstoppable, save for a little hiccup in the middle there.
I'm really glad that you, too, are a proliferator of the free gun, by the way. Motto.
It's a great motto.
It really is. And it's great when that happens. Just right-click your way to success. You don't need to aim. It's a shotgun without costing you anything. Pistol round Damon.
Wheaton. Once again with the shorty. See if they can find any sort of shenanigans here. Stunned up, though. This is going to be challenging. Lung Collapser. Are you aware of the angle? Oh, it doesn't matter. You're going to find one anyways. Into the middle of everyone goes Wheaton. Not able to shut it down. It's another headshot for Lung Collapser as they are taking names. Drugga, free gun, by the way, able to find one in return. Shavoxy finds another one as well. So, chaotic opening.
They're getting flanked. This is Ogre. Yeah, Han Solo Burger. Eating them all up. 12-2, and Tiffin, their map pick is looking likely. We'll need 10 rounds in a row, 0 losses for Buffalo State. That's what's the requirement, and listen, I'm not saying it's impossible, but unlikely.
Yeah, and I'm seeing an operator in Lung Collapser's hands. Unfortunately for Wheaton, it's really hard to beat an operator with a judge. Like, you gotta get real close at that point, and I don't think
gotta be creative.
Yes, you have to be very stealthy. You gotta put on the box. You gotta be Solid Snake at that point. Lung Collapser. Will they do it again?
Looks kind of like it.
Possibly. They back off.
Lung Collapser not doing any backing off. Neither is Gunky Gamer. Pushing all the way in. That's the creativity we've been looking for Wheaton. Finally taking the rifle and maybe going to keep it in their hands in this engagement. In a 2-on-3, seems like the better of the decisions. Very committed. Walking around the corner. That was a dink, I think. Don't know what the weaponry Zeptic has, though.
Oh, that's an Ares. That's annoying to deal with. Oh, we'll just get sprayed down, though. Wheaton, hey, pretty good with the rifle as well. Lung Collapse are pretty good with the rifle on the opposite side. OT Freeze will pick another one up. Actually, clutches it all out as Buffalo State. They're staying alive.
2v4. It took a bit of miracle working, but the miracles were indeed worked. OT Freeze there with a couple of closing shots, and like you said, Wheaton apparently can also use a rifle. Which is surprising, I know, considering the commitment to the judge, that is. Not doubting the skill.
Just goes back to it. Why not?
It is kind of working. At the same time, you got to ask the question, how many kills would he have with the rifle?
I think we find it out next map. Well, it's also split next map, so if Wheaton's back on the Rays, they're just going to do the exact same thing. And you were talking about how we saw it in Tier 2. Oh, we saw it in Tier 1. We saw it at Champions. You know, YZ just jumping forward. Rays 30 kills or whatever with it. OT Freeze, Lung Collapser. Oh, Shivoxy, everyone's getting on the board here. Just everyone going down as Buffalo State starting to hold the line here at the final hour. Shivoxy, 13 HP, though, needs to be careful. Nice little top up there as Drugga finds one onto Han Solo.
But Breno really committed to taking that fight. Will eventually come away with the shot and spots out more information. So considering this is, you know, a 2-on-4, this is relatively winnable compared to normal 2-on-4 situations. Breno could isolate, but the sky smoke goes down, and time to try and clutch this up is starting to tick away as the spike about to get planted by Mia.
Yeah, Wheaton going over the top. There's the power of the judge. Is actually the aftershock takes down Mia, as you mentioned. But now Zeptic with a sheriff. And a 1v3. We've talked about collegiate sheriffs as well before. That's a nice little analogy we've used. But Wheaton says, nah. Judge.
Judge over sheriff pretty consistently. I think it's fair to say. Unless you're at range.
Good round, though, from
Back
the
in
side
the judge.
of... Yeah. I think at this point, are we going to be surprised if Wheaton picks up the judge? No. Are we going to be surprised
We're
if
not.
Wheaton picks up anything else except the judge? Yes.
Yes.
That is where the surprise comes through. Nonetheless.
Has one of the best knives, by the way.
Yeah, I love Krampus. They're so fun to play. Just
I
flick
know.
them around and all that stuff. Has a great judge skin as well.
Well, you gotta have a great judge skin if you're gonna judge all the time.
Yes. Oh,
Voxy made their way across in order to get that trade. One collapser still hitting shots. And Cookie Gamer had a Marshall. The Marshall was not the weapon for the job there. Wheaton's not gonna check. How long does Uncollapser wait? That long is the answer! Turns on a dime! And another, the spike getting planted by Mia, but she's all alone! Oh, no! The knife to close this map and give Tiffin their pick. A thrifty win, and the Marshals making the plays.
Yeah, call Tiffin M&M at the end of that one because the Marshals mattered at that point. Excellent stuff coming through from them to sort of just wrap things up, put a bow on it, say, hey, you know what? We had a couple of fun rounds there. You got your judge clips for a little bit, but that's all you get on this one. But honestly, Tiffin looking very strong coming out of the gates there. 10-2 on that attacking half. They look quite strong.
Yeah, it's a little bit concerning, I think, for Buffalo State. The good news is that there was a couple of rounds there at the end of the game where they did have some good moments, like that 2v4 I talked about, and on top of that, I think the round after that where they were very much winning in those engagements initially, that gives a lot of confidence. And can't believe I'm saying this, but listen, the judge is better on split. It does get better. So I mean, if Wheaton's play style is just buy a judge every round, and that clearly is the play, there ain't a better place to do that but split.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they sort of evolve their comp as well, because of course that Raze can stay very consistent, but even on the flip side for Tiffin, them going for the Reyna over the Raze, does that mean they don't have the Raze in their back pocket or something? Will they just pull the Reyna instead? Will there be a double duelist even pulled out on split? Will it be a Melvin Fang coming through on the Reyna instead? Who knows at this point? That's a deep cut for all of those who have followed us for a while, but nonetheless, we'll have to see if Tiffin can close out the series on map 2, or if it will be Buffalo State striking back. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back after this. And welcome back, everyone, to ECAC Week 1 action. Tiffin University coming out of the gate, breathing fire like the dragon mascot they've got, taking down Buffalo State. My name's Adam, alongside Vincent here once again. Vincent, this side. Yeah, you're on that side. There you go.
Hi, I'm here.
Yeah, there you go. Interesting gameplay coming through from both sides. The judge from Wheaton, very fun to watch. Unfortunately, not as effective as it may have seemed. But now, going over to Split, the judge, better. Buffalo State's chances potentially better as well, considering they're starting on the defense.
Yeah, I think that it's fair to say Wheaton is getting a buff just by being on Split, right? But the question then is it going to be like it was over in Lotus where, listen, fair enough, was getting the 1-for-1s, but often was just getting the 1-for-1s. That is sort of an issue, especially if it's not ending in round wins. As much as you can say, hey, got mine, the reality is that I think you said it best, right? Round wins are the whole point of this game. You have to get the round wins. It doesn't matter if it's pretty. It doesn't matter if it's exactly the best aim or whatever. It's all irrelevant, but you got to get the number up at the top to go to 13. And unfortunately, that's not what happened for BSU in that first map. And so if it doesn't work out, I think Wheaton has to be willing to adjust a little bit, as much as I want to continue to see that. Because I'll be real. Listen, BSU, they had some firepower, Wheaton included. I feel like they were there or thereabouts. The problem was for any singular round to be won, they had to have a multi-frag. They had to have 3 or 4 kills come from one individual player, and that's not sustainable.
Yeah, I think Shavoxy was sort of that standout player for the side of Buffalo State. If they can really enable Shavoxy to find those angles, find the op early on into these halves in that sense, and keep that going for themselves, they're going to be in good shape. You see what I see.
I do indeed see the things that you see.
I have never casted a deadlock.
I don't know that I know all of the ability there, if I'm being entirely
Well, we'll figure it out. But interesting switch up. Gunky Gamer goes from Reyna, probably I want to say one of the most popular agents in solo queue specifically, to Deadlock, sort of the meme agent of the group at this point. Deadlock is not very good, at least in my opinion.
Well, I think it's fair to say that it's a factual statement to say Deadlock's a little underpowered. With that said, maybe I don't know how to take that. I don't know how to take that, if that's like confidence or if that's like just they have something that I've never seen before. You know what I mean? Well, okay, I wasn't going to go there. I was like making the assumption on the positive side of things, or it could be BM.
Yeah.
TLDR from Rare Adam Cast.
Yeah, there's 3 options here, and realistically, if you are to pick a map like, or if you do have a comp set up for Split that doesn't involve Deadlock, it's not the worst case scenario. In the same sense that Cypher is picked on this map a lot of the times at the highest level, Deadlock fills a very similar niche to that. Just that, your trips, you can just walk past them. That's the long and short of it. That's what makes Deadlock a little bit weird, in my opinion. But nonetheless, the wall's really cool. If they can find cool angles with the wall, if you can throw them in the Pokeball, you can be in good shape. But already, Han Solo Burger all the way upstairs with the dog. Everyone's just sort of backing off for now.
That initial point of contact over at a bit of not a ruse, but it did pull some rotations to allow this mid control to come through, and Mailroom now fully engaged by Tiffin. They'll be making their way through for what is set up to be a B split, but OT freezes in some trouble.
Whoa!
Little swap on the zip, and that is some nice movement. Meanwhile, the crunch into Mailroom is very successful. Drugga will get behind the wall, and Shavoxy can take the contact. 2 on 5. It all turns in the blink of an eye.
Ooh, nice little timing there found by Mia. Coming around the back of Zeptic there. Now Lung Collapser with the world to deal with here. Wheaton. Oh, he's coming for you. He's got that shorty. You know exactly what to expect. Unfortunately, Wheaton will go down. Drugga picks that one up as Buffalo State starting off on the right foot.
I do appreciate the commitment to the bit, but the shorty on pistol rounds is a really tough sell.
Yes.
It really is. Like, because the judge is good. Like, you can play, especially at split, any position for the judge. Or sorry, the shorty. You can play any position, but if you're going to be aggressive, it's difficult.
Yeah, it can be challenging, of course. the judge also, you have a little bit of mid-range power. The spread isn't as much. The shorty just goes everywhere. You got to be like in their face for that one. At a certain point, sometimes you're better off to knife them at that point. But nonetheless, Wheaton already moving back just a little bit. Shivoxy around the back here almost gets turned around on by Zeptic. The trade there, but Wheaton finds 2 already. There you go. This is why you pick up Wheaton for split.
Yeah, this is the Bucky, and this is where both the Bucky, the Judge, the Shorty, whatever, can have the engagement. But Gunky Gamer has been having their way with everyone. That Sheriff at range, making things look very simple, but Wheaton is stuck here. There's no moving for Wheaton.
Yeah, Wheaton's in a little bit of a tough situation. Gunky Gamer finds their 4th as well, but 6 HP. Drago might actually have to try and find a quick little pick here. Nice little head tap there. Not going to find it onto Han Soloberg. It's actually just the ace for Gunky Gamer, the Sheriff. Going to prevent that bonus from coming through, and wow, what a turnaround.
Well, we're going to see the ult pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun.
That was a weird round.
It was a very weird round. It just kind of felt like Tiffin walked into A until everyone was dead.
And it worked.
It's a valid strategy.
It seems as if Gunky Gamer Go Kill is a strategy that does have some legs as well. Something to note from the side of Buffalo State as well. They have triple duelist on split. This is incredibly aggressive. OT Freeze tries to get aggressive, and Lung Collapse just says no.
Yeah, I did entirely miss that in the whole like deadlock situation. So, whoopsie. I mean,
Oh.
nobody saw it, Lung Collapser. We promise. I closed my eyes, didn't see a thing.
Yeah, a little bit of a tough situation there. It does get the kill in the end. You want got there.
Hold on, Adam. A tough situation. It was somebody walking without looking at you. How tough a situation is it really?
The tough situation was missing the shots at that point, but they got the kill. You know what? Doesn't matter. They got the kill. They got one on the board. Drugga has an actual tough situation here. We'll find one at the very least. Gonna dismiss away and might be able to find a second one. Septic will shut it down, and unfortunately for Shivoxy, may just fall to the spike here. As it's another round on the board for Tiffin.
It's too bad Shivoxy didn't have a dash there. I think Shivoxy dashes in, hits the defuse, like probably gets it actually.
Yeah, it would be very close at that.
Mm-hmm. There was the potential is the idea. But yeah, listen, Whiffington's is a real disease that I suffer from, where I can't shoot people not looking at me. It is real and apparently all over the place.
Yeah. You know what? It happens to the best of us. We simply close our eyes. I do not see it. And you got the kill. You know what? At the end of the day, you got your kill. That's what matters. Lung Collapser has been very good about a lot of these shots as well. You can, if it's like the one round, from time to time. Gunky Gamer, though, gonna pull them to their graves. Annihilation coming down onto Drugga. There is no Druggas that are gonna get you out of that one, unfortunately. Get shut down as A-Site once again primed for the taking for the side of Tiffin.
This is pretty much done and dusted. That barrier mesh into position to deny anybody swinging from tower, and now that they've already just got the full site control, getting back into this was going to be tough no matter how you sliced it, and Tiffin have a very solid what?
Oh, ridiculous shot. Wheaton.
That's just not fair. That's just not fair.
Yeah, it was... Sometimes the shots just land the way you want them to, and for Han Soloberger there, going from the Omen off to the sky, ends up still finding the shots the same way. Something to note here, though. A lot of the agents have been switched from map to map here. Specifically, Breno went from Killjoy to Jet. Gunky Gamer went from Reyna to Deadlock. Lung Collapser, as we potentially expected them not to pick up the Raze on this one, went from Jet to Raze. Zeptic went from the Breach to the Astra here, and Han Soloberger, as we mentioned, to Omen to Sky. Roles swapping around a little bit here. An interesting call, I want to say, but working out nonetheless.
Yeah, don't typically see this much swapping around. This is looking like a round that Buffalo have had enough of the A shenanigans from Tiffin. They have 5 people here from the very beginning as the walls fade away. Yeah. I think, listen, I'm really bad about this in my games. but I'm never a guy who's going to stack 5 at a site. I'm really impressed, and I love that Buffalo have just decided we're tired of their shenanigans.
Yes, however, this did allow Zeptic to go all the way into their spawn, and will Shavoxy expect it? Absolutely not! And now the spike goes down onto the B site, and all of a sudden, despite the numbers advantage, a little bit of a challenging retake to come through, because you have no idea where anyone is. You have to clear everything out. Heaven, main, back site, even your gravel, even your spawn at this point. Okay, never mind. You cleared your spawn. Now it's a little bit of an easier retake.
Yeah, now Han Solo Burger gonna have to do some craziness. Trying to isolate duels, gonna hit the first and even gets away. Seekers can go out, that's gonna make things a little tougher. Shots continuing to go through, and Han Solo Burger, he's isolated another one! 1v4, absolutely possible. The guiding light gets the confirmation, and Wheaton shooting left and right will have the read, but Han Solo Burger is the clutch king for Tiffin. 1v4, thank you very much.
Oh my goodness, Han Solo Burger living up to the names. Who needs anyone else? It's a solo V4 there. Serving it up on a platter. That's a Wagyu burger, if anything. Great stuff coming through after a disastrous opening there. Just the Stingers finding 3 picks off the rip. All of a sudden, Han Solo Burger just in their comfort zone. You know what? 2v5, no big deal.
All I have to say is Han shot first.
Yes, correct. Objectively correct take.
Yep.
Nonetheless. Han Solo Burger gonna send the dog through this time. They're just going right back to A. They love to hit this A site early and often. If it works, it works. If not, rotate.
Well, and when it didn't work, they set it up.
Yeah.
Oh, showstopper? That's tragic.
You see the vision in their eyes. Oh no, the Astro Wall, the timing on it, just a little bit off. Gunky Gamer gets the glowing Vandal, and actually, it's a quick rotation over to the opposite side. This wall, a little bit of a bait and switch here. Nonetheless, that spike still a little bit far away, but they will just take their talents over to the B side.
I like the decision on the fly, right? Just, well, we have the entirety of the map, so why don't we use it? That'll be the plan. Everybody else requisitioned over towards A. I mean, a relatively fast flank coming from Drugga. Well, it was coming from Drugga through sewers, but now there's not much to be had. Mia, at least she's going to get one. But now they're both low, and it's a 2v4.
Yeah, and I think the hunting is commencing here. Lung Collapse are going to find Mia at the back of that one. OT Free is not in the best of situations either. Might actually have slipped the defense, though, so at the very least we'll save one gun. But Tiffin, once again, going back to their old tricks. We were a little bit quizzical about their choice to start on the offensive side on Split, notoriously known as a very defensive-sided map. I don't doubt it anymore. They've looked very clean in their attacks.
I mean, you know, in fairness, it's no longer as crazy defensive as it once was. Oh, no! Great adjustment from Zeptic. But even still, starting on that attack side is an ambitious maneuver that's currently working out very well. And I'll be honest, Adam, if there's one way to, like, Omega tilt me off the planet, it's winning the first map dominantly, and then starting the worst side on the second map and picking Deadlock. And then winning with it.
It shouldn't make sense. It shouldn't work from Tiffin. From any sort of analytical perspective, from any experience that we may have, this should not be working. Wheaton, that should not have worked either, but you find Lung Collapser nice and early. Unfortunately, the numbers still not in Buffalo State's advantage. 4v3 as everyone just stacked up in lobby here. They're just willing to stack up and take as much space as they need.
The good news is that they still have control of the A site to Buffalo. They have lost control of Tower and the entirety of it. Just Gunky Gamer taking these fights left and right. It's OT Freeze to get one, but not much more. Drugga, 1v3. Empress, a possibility, I guess, but even that, with a Sheriff in hand, seems a little out of touch. That was a decision of all time.
It was ambitious. The Annihilation are not going to land. Drugga little bit of a difficult time. Ooh, nice little pick, though, on the Gunky Gamer. They find another one here. Drugga will find another one here. All of a sudden, this is looking quite winnable for Drugga. Has to deal with Han Solo Burger, taken down to 45 HP. Han Solo Burger clutches it out once again, why don't ya? And it's 6 on the board for Tiffin.
Tiffin looking quite unstoppable right now, I think it's fair to say. And I know we're kind of out of the realm of reason and, like, normal analysis, but if I would attempt to do a little bit of that here for Buffalo State, how do you deal with this, right? How do you deal with this level of aggression towards the A side? I mean, they are trying. You know, you get that nade out early, the paint shells and everything like that. You put some bodies in position, and maybe nano swarm it as well. Like, there's some options here, and we haven't seen them use them all.
Yeah, I mean, the other option is just wait until they don't stack A and find a pick down mid from Shavoxy. Nice little pickup there, almost able to get a second one as well, but a little bit of a change-up in the plans for Tiffin, maybe trying to just explore the playbook a little bit more. Ends up not working out as well as I think they expected it to. Granted, still very early on into the round. Buffalo State have an advantage for the time being.
I didn't even know there was a place other than A, since I've only seen that.
Oh no.
Clean kill.
Gunky Gamer.
Oh, I may get another one. Drugga's about to be in some big trouble here.
Oh, about that. Drugga. Oh, okay. Yeah. Gunky Gamer is able to trade it out at the very least, but Han Solo Burger, I believe, did drop that spike way down in A main. So a little bit of a backwards map at this point. Wheaton sitting up in heaven. And Shavoxy finds another one. All of a sudden, this 2v3 looking quite winnable, if I do say so, as Wheaton looking for some of those shots, pulls out the classic. Shavoxy finds the opposite side, and there you go. Buffalo State find another one on the board by virtue of 3 from Shavoxy.
Like I said, hero plays were the bread and butter of Buffalo in that last map, and it's continuing to be that here. Love that Wheaton's keeping it shotguns only by including the classic into that. Is a shotgun in pistol form.
The right click. It's
Yeah,
too good.
Exactly. Honestly, it's no longer too good. It is nuts on the pistol round. It's no longer like busted though.
It's
but
good though.
I love to pretend like it's still as busted as it was like on release.
Sometimes that's the best way to just conduct analysis. You know what? I remember it being very good, so it is still very good.
Yeah.
So the red click, still very good. Shavoxy, still very good as well, holding down sight. Takes down Gunky Gamer. That's a big member to take out. And sometimes, when you're down in rounds, you just got to take out their top frag. And you take out Gunky Gamer, they can't frag out in the round. Hey, it's a good start.
A nice find, but listen, though Tiffin did lose a player early, they are into a 5-on now 3. They still have spike down. Showstopper comes out. That should find Shavoxy, and it does. Breno and Lung Collapse are both collecting a frag or 2. Mia able to bring things back. Empress has been used, and unfortunately, the paint shells do take Mia out from the grave. Now Drugga needs the clutch. 1 bullet in that chamber. Will it be enough? Goes for the reload instead. It's the boost, but can't find the tap. Time is low, and it's too little too late. Buffalo State, a valiant effort, and even Drugga cannot survive.
Yeah, unfortunately unable to get out of the range of that spike. Good stuff coming through from Drugga at the very least to clean up all those guns. Keep their economy in check a little bit here. As you can see, Han Solo Burger might have to pick up the gun for Gunky Gamer here. The economy isn't great on the side of Tiffin. If they are to drop a round, it is very likely that they would drop another one if it is a relatively clean round from Buffalo State. But still, at the end of the day, we talked about it last map. You got to get those rounds up on the board, and Tiffin have done that very well, starting on this attack, just going pedal to the metal, going crazy with their attacks at every point. Drugga, though, will find one onto Lung Collapser, who was a little bit ambitious moving up that far.
Granted, they've been up that far like every round, so
Yes.
normally you'd be right. In this case, it almost doesn't matter. Trailblazer catching some information that Nanoswarm should ensure that nobody can move forward. Wheaton. How does Breno get that shot? Poor Wheaton, and Breno with another one. Drugga may have opened this round, but it is Breno looking to close. Zeptic getting one there to end things out. And the issue here is that yeah, getting rounds is great, but at this point, Tiffin have 8 on the attack side, and that's already too good.
Time to go into the astral form.
Yeah, it's far too many to be getting on the attack side of Split, and this isn't their map pick. This is Buffalo State's map pick, and unfortunately, it seems as if they've been solved at this point, despite the shotgun-only player in Wheaton being on their home soil. They aren't really able to find as many angles as they did on Lotus in that sense as well. I think Gunky Gamer has done a great job of just being a good aimer at this point, not really needing to use Deadlock's kit to its fullest potential. Drugga, though, overwhelmed there as 3 members already fall. OT Free is able to find 1, but as soon as the round starts there, 15 seconds in, and it's a 4v1.
Yeah, I turned away just for a second to put something down, and the round's over.
Yeah.
I don't actually know what happened, but it looked good. Sounded good, rather. I had the headphones in for Tiffin. There was a lot of murder that was occurring. Yeah, this is a very yikes buy. 1 rifle, a Guardian. I mean, Guardian technically a rifle, I guess. To be fair, are you a Guardian enjoyer, Adam? I can't remember.
I am a Guardian enjoyer. So I just feel like I hit more heads when I use the Guardian, for me personally. So it just works out.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's what you need. Who needs the satchels? Says Lung Collapser as well. Pulls out the Annihilation right away. Not going to find anyone is Gunky Gamer and around this corner. Drugga is able to take down Breno at the very least. Dismisses away, and it's an early pick for the side of Buffalo State. Picked right back as Gunky Gamer picks it up.
Well, the attempt's going through. Gunky Gamer with a couple more, but
Ooh.
long-range judge shooting. It leaves Zeptic in the 1-on-2. Final round of the half, so Cosmic Divide, maybe? Oh, nice tap on the Phantom. Spike can be moved all the way over to B, and that's what we will see. But to be fair, Mia does have the lockdown. This Cosmic Divide will go up. That's not how I would have used it, but okay.
Yeah, I think as well as Zeptic was going for the smooth moves, you know, jumping down, taking fall damage on the way out as well. While also throwing down the Cosmic Divide, but a very interesting angle. I don't think Mia's going to expect this.
Maybe they were thinking that it could have faked towards A. Oh, boy. Check corners, check corners, check corners. No!
Oh! Oh no, Zeptic! You need to hit your shot! But Mia doesn't even have time for the lockdown at this point. Can Mia find the shot? No, Zeptic shuts it down. It's another 10-2 attacking half for Tiffin.
Okay, so let me try and think in the mind here of Zeptic. What if that Cosmic Divide was a fake, as if maybe they were planting towards A?
1 second, peeps.
So, because if you go on the other side of the Cosmic Divide, you wouldn't be able to hear it as easily if they were farther away?
Possibly.
Am I just
I think
making things
Zeptic
up?
just threw. I think Zeptic just threw it down. I think it was like use it or lose it. Just threw it down.
Huge raid, Adam. Huge raid.
I think that's what it is. That's all it is, man.
I'm making up reasons here. we get Zeptic on the interview, and I asked the question, and that is going to be the answer. It's just like
Yeah.
I'll just toss it down, man. I don't know what you're on about.
The case. Ooh. Breno, quick peek, not gonna find it. Backs out, nice and easy there. And look at this, BSU go towards B site. And they're gonna actually find an early pick here. Shavoxy still looking for another one. Breno, no ammo, but Lung Collapser comes through 4v4. Wheaton able to find value onto Zeptic here. All these smokes just making it an absolute mess on the site. But BSU, they do have 3 duelists. Technically, this attack should look really nice.
Yeah, I mean, they have all the options with those duelists, and Drugga making the engagements look very reasonable. Wheaton, even with the shorty not quite able close range to make that connection, very scary. Yeah, I was about to say, that bot is terrifying at 3 HP, and it was enough to get the kill for Mia. BSU with a pistol round victory, their second of this match, believe it or not. The second of this map, actually, believe it or not.
Yes.
How many times can you say you win both pistols and you're losing 3-10?
Not very often. And I think a big factor behind that is just the fact that they didn't even convert on the round afterwards. It was an incredible performance from Gunky Gamer, mind you, that was able to secure it back the opposite way. But now Tiffin just going to force back up. They say, you know what? We're just going to go Marshals. We've got the aim. We know we can Get you down. Lung Collapser with the Judge. Oh, gets shot down though by Druga. Gunky Gamer though finds 2 in reply. The site will be taken by BSU.
Was that a collab? Kind of looked like it might have been.
I think it was just back-to-back shots.
Yeah, definitely could have been. I could be crazy.
Ooh.
And the second Marshall there is going to be making the moves. This is a lot of information because now they know that Druga's position is, I don't know where that bullet goes. It looked awful close. And Shivoxy tapping away at the head of Han Solo Burger will get the confirmation. Second round victory for Buffalo.
An interesting round. Very interesting that they force up when they're up as many rounds as they are, but maybe just feeling the confidence of that. And now, Breno going to do their best Wheaton impression here with the Judge. This time, those sitting in the corner. Everyone else with those collegiate sheriffs that we love to talk. Oh, never mind. They're buying up once again. Gunky Gamer, also a big Judge fan here, it seems. BSU, they still have a lot of tools to work with here. And of course, with this triple duelist, they get on the site. That is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they have all of the utility at their disposal to do that. Of course, Breno is in a position to deny a lot of that, actually, realistically. No more dash, but if they do commit through this nebula, things could get scary. Gunky Gamer, that could have been a spicy crossfire, because Gunky Gamer has a sheriff too, right?
Yes.
If they had walked into that, Buffalo would have been in trouble. Fortunately, that will not be the crossfire, but crossfire is set with Han Solo Burger up on the rafters.
Now, will they check this? All this util being dumped down is just sort of protecting Breno's position, but at the same time, maybe not. Does sort of get revealed at the end. Oh my goodness, Breno turns on a dime, able to find one, but it's a 2 for 2 on the way in. They do get onto site, but they haven't gotten the spike down. Nice little nade from Lung Collapser. Will get turned around, but Lung Collapser finding everything. And now it's all down to a 1v1. Druga versus Lung Collapser. Judge versus Vandal. The Judge wins no matter what. These judges are insane as Tiffin find a thrifty.
Man, Lung Collapser really making the moves on the site, able to kind of dance around with that Judge. But it's not just the Judge. Well-placed paint shells in the middle of that. That forced, I think, multiple players for Buffalo out wide to the left into 2 different additional defenders on the site. It was actually kind of low-key big brain if it was intentional. And it ends up getting a kill as well. It was tossed into a nebula, I think. Or, no, it was tossed into a gravity well, excuse me.
The judges, I don't know. Something, we talk about collegiate sheriffs all the time. I think that's a big thing when we're covering, the top collegiate teams and everything. Maybe collegiate judges are the new wave. I think there's a new movement to be had here.
The Judge movement?
I love the Judge.
I can get behind this, because I've been behind it the whole time, is the reality.
Vincent is a truer for that one, and Tiffin are truers of finding one on the way in, and Buffalo just going to try and get themselves onto the site, get the spike down. Breno will get shut down by Druga. Druga, who's been quietly having a very solid series for themselves. Still looking for more, but Lung Collapser coming around the side ends up getting traded out. Now it is down to Han Solo Burger. We've seen them win these before.
We actually have, and that's maybe the scary part. There's a lot of angles to clear out, and a ton of utility left. Just that single guiding light. Shivoxy, there's someone who will deliver. It is Shivoxy. Back and forth at the outside of this second half, it has been forced by... I mean, we've yet to see Tiffin save, is the reality. So
yeah,
maybe this will be the round?
Yes. I think it will be. Looking at their purchases and everything, if they are to buy their util, they don't have a lot for anything else. So it's a couple sheriffs, a couple of classics. Lung Collapser really the only one who's going to be buying all the way up here. But Wheaton, wait a sec. That's not allowed. Wheaton, what are you doing? That's a Vandal in your hand.
I mean, listen. It's got real.
It's got real. 5'11", they're already a map down. Yeah, now it's time to get real.
I was just saying, if there's a time for the shenanigans to be over, there's probably that time.
If I'm on the team, I am asking Wheaton to
buy a real gun. You know what I mean? Like I know I'm the wet blanket of the squad. I know that, and I'm okay with that. But I would be that guy, be like, "Wait, can you just buy a gun, man?"
Yeah, it's like the sheriff only players. Like, can you please stop griefing? Can you buy a real gun? Can you buy a rifle for us one round so we can get it back? Oh,
Okay.
everyone goes down.
A little suicide mission, apparently. Yeah, see, the problem is the response to that is like, oh, hit tab, bro. And I'm like, oh, cries. 7 kills.
Nonetheless, Tiffin still feeling decently confident about this one. Buffalo taking their time. Moving forward, Buffalo State, sorry. The Bengals looking for absolutely anything. They need to bare their fangs on this one as they go down towards the B site. And already very deep in there. Wheaton, he'll land some shots. Look at that. Why were you playing a judge this entire time? Your aim's great. And now they take the site for themselves. Brimstone ult invested as well. Wheaton finds a third one of the round. Why don't you? And now Zeptic left to pick up the pieces.
This game is not over. I've determined after this round, watching Wheaton, it's not over yet.
Just sort of toying with food up there. Might even be a case where Zeptic just backs off. Ends up saving the rifle. And Buffalo State. Oh, never mind.
If you give Wheaton that many opportunities, I think they'll eventually hit the shot.
Oh yeah. Wheaton looks good on the rifle.
Yeah, very good. I mean that
They took off the
turn.
train weights.
That turn on the guy coming from B main, that was nuts.
Yeah.
Actually insane. Tiffin we're saving. Let's contextualize just a little bit.
Yes.
There was a hero buy. We did see the showstopper come out, and Lung Collapser took one with them, but that was an eco. Now it's the gun round. We'll see what the real Tiffin looks like on the rifles for the maybe first time for real this half.
I think so. I think the Econ's been so... It's been in the flux for so long that this could very well be the first full buy round. Wheaton, unfortunately, gets shut down when Han Solo Burger has a rifle on the opposite side. Pushing forward aggressively is Han Solo Burger. Great flash, gonna find another one, but Drugga turns it back around as Tiffin still finding advantages where they can.
You mentioned Drugga like quietly having a good series. I mean, this map, it's not been quiet at all. It's been very loud. I mean, yeah, 18 leading the charge alongside Chavoxy. I mean, not taking anything away from Chavoxy either. That's a jump that maybe could have been avoided. Zeptic will take advantage with the double spray. Down 3 actually for Zeptic, who's been maybe the quieter member of Tiffin, but activating when needed.
Yeah, and finding 3 that round, getting them onto match point. Wheaton still buying up that rifle, so saying, you know what, now we've put the carry pants on. Granted, this would be a round where you would maybe buy the judge, give Chavoxy your Vandal, and say, we'll do it that way. Nonetheless, I'm not in Buffalo State's ears. I don't know what's going on their side. Look to be going back towards this A site once again. Look at all these ultimates, though, on their side. 4 of them available. Only one that's really not available is that of OT Freezes. And instantly they're moving forward. Mia's actually going to pick that one up on the Gunky Gamer. Oh.
No showstopper. Sorry, Zeptic. I said maybe a little quiet. Maybe they heard me saying I'll show you exactly what that looks like. The lockdown for Mia, allowing Buffalo State at least some space and Chavoxy time to bed in here, adjusting to the head of Breno and upgrading to the rifle. There'll be a time to wait, maybe a time to adjust. Chavoxy doing it whole with the blades. 3 and can dash away in order to save their life. Zeptic, who got the first 2, only 2 kills of the round for Tiffin, now left alone in the 1v3, getting the first already, but 12 HP.
But look at Mia's health as well. Not in the best of positions either. Zeptic not going to be able to find it, unfortunately. OT Freeze shuts it down. But Chavoxy, big round once again. We mentioned it. Buffalo State have needed some of these hero rounds to come through. That's one of them right there with your backs up against the wall. And that was some clean knife play there. There's one. There's another one picked up. Just turns the corner. Look at that crosshair placement. So clean with it.
Yeah, that first shot especially. Just a really nice flick. So at that point, you know, it's a multi-frag. Jet feeling that good? Oh, yeah. So, bit of a crazy string of buys. Brendo's gonna Blade Storm. They got 3 rifles and then a Sheriff, I think I saw on one of the other Tiffin players.
Oh my goodness, Breno though finds some timing, but unfortunately not able to find all the shots they need. It's a mess down mid right now for the side of Buffalo State and Tiffin here. Doc gets 3 of them in mail, and now so many angles to cover, but yet it doesn't seem to be the right place, the right time for Buffalo State and Tiffin. Down Solo Burger just cleans it up. There you go. There you go. Wrap it up, Tiffin. Take the series 2-0. What just happened?
Jeez, I don't know what just happened. I mean, what I saw is unfortunately 3 players just being perma-stunned inside of mailroom. They were checking the mail, and it was forever. Their inbox was inundated, and they had no chance to get out. They were entirely overwhelmed. It was unfortunate, but also that last headshot, little adjustment on the spray, ooh, spicy. We do love a little bit of Vandal spray transfer action. You don't get to see it all the time, but when you do, it's spicy.
Yeah, and I mean, Tiffin and Buffalo State just made that series feel like a fever dream. That's sort of where I'm getting at this as well. It's like, did we actually just watch that for a lot of those rounds? But nonetheless, great performance coming through from Tiffin, sort of showing that their attack is ruthless. And I think for a lot of the other teams that are watching this right now in the ECAC, they've got to keep an eye out for Tiffin because they were looking very strong on those attacking halves in both maps.
Yeah, the scary part about Tiffin is I felt like there wasn't any individual that couldn't kind of go crazy. And that is a terrifying thing. And when you have, your individuals playing on the duelist, like One Collapser and Gunky Gamer, at least in the first map, when they're playing on the duelist, you're like, okay, we expect them. But then we were seeing Han Solo Burger. I mean, that 1v4 clutch. I mean, we saw the last round as well. Like, everything was working so well for them. And of course, the consistency of that's what's so terrifying. And I know we're kind of putting a lot of individualism together here. We're talking about it a lot, but there is a reality where, they did just shoot a little better, and that did make a big difference in these maps.
Yeah, I think end of the day, sometimes you just have to hit the head. You just have to get your kills up at that point. And we saw that come through in some of those rounds for Buffalo State, and I think there is a lot that they can work with on that side. Shavoxy, I think, was the highlight of that team across both the maps. Droga had a great bounce back in map 2. Unfortunately, Tiffin just had multiple members showing up in those clutch scenarios. For each round that Buffalo State had, a pop-off performance, a multi-frag coming through for them to get those round wins. Tiffin, it felt like they had 2 or 3 players who were doing the exact same thing. So, unfortunately for them, they do lose first game of the season for themselves. Tiffin moving up in those standings just a little bit. Good statement series, I think, for them as well. We are going to head to a quick break before we get ourselves an interview with the winners, though, so stick around. We'll be right back with that. After a fantastic 2-0 victory by Tiffin University over Buffalo State University, we got ourselves our interviews. And you know what? Honestly, I've missed doing player interviews a lot. Over the summer, we didn't get to do it as much when we were doing that. We didn't get to do them as much, but this time we get Zeptic here on the scene here. Zeptic, great series today. How do you feel after that win?
It feels good. 1-0, we're up. And I'm really excited for next week. Just can't wait, to be honest.
So there was a burning question, and I have to ask. So you were in a clutch scenario, and you put down a Cosmic Divide that was on map 2. Was there a plan there, or was it... Okay, can you tell me what the plan was?
So you probably noticed that a lot of roles changed. So we've never really scrimmed that map because we weren't really like ready for that. So we all just wanted to test something, and it was last round, and I was like, I'm just going to throw it on a wall, make it awkward. And then I wrapped Heaven, hoping to hear him. And if I didn't hear much, I was just going to put a suck-on bomb like I did. And then, obviously, I missed the knife, but we don't talk about that. It happens.
Okay, I was just wondering, because I was speculating, and you'll see if you watch the VOD back, you'll understand. Thank you for clearing that up. The second question, you actually kind of preempted that a little bit, but I want to dig a little bit deeper about all of the role swaps. You were obviously on the Initiator, was playing the Breach, I believe, on the first map, and then transitioned into the Controller on the Astra for that second map. Is that just because of, like you said, not having a lot of experience there, or is there something there? Do you typically go, a little bit of a flex? Are you typically the Initiator player?
Sticking to Initiator on maps like Lotus and other maps like Haven. But yeah, for Split, I mean, we've probably scrimmed it, I want to say like 4 times, but we've dialed in Split over and over and over again. And I just think it was something fun to try. I mean, we have another map after that, so what happens, happens. And luckily I was throwing down decent smoke, so.
I lied to Adam, and I told him I only had 2 questions. I have one more. Was the deadlock part of the plan from the beginning, or do you just guys feel the confidence? You're like, you know what, let's try something new?
Yeah, we were feeling the confidence just a little bit. He usually plays Cypher on that map, but deadlock is...
It was definitely one of the options to pick up. And hey, did well. Gunky Gamer had a great series overall as well, but last question here as well before we head into sort of the send-offs and everything. How does the team feel this semester? It's starting off a new year. You've been in school for about a month at this point. How does everything sort of feel from the team perspective? Do you feel like you can take this team far in the ECAC?
Yeah, I feel really confident in my team. I mean, me and Lung Collapser are newer to the team. We just started this year, and the other 3 have been together for a while. But I feel really confident. Our comms are good. We feel good with each other, good energy. We were hyped that entire time.
Always important. And final thing that I've got to say, or ask you at least before we head out here, is any shout-outs you want to give? Floor is all yours for that.
My mom, everybody that's watching, all my friends. Got a couple people. And, yeah, about it.
Awesome stuff. Thank you so much, Zeptic, for the interview. Congratulations on the win once again. We look forward to seeing your team more in the future as well.
Thank you, guys.
Awesome stuff to hear from Zeptic there. But unfortunately, that brings our show to a close here. Vincent, it was great to actually be on camera with you. As we mentioned from the top, I'm normally behind there, and I'm just sort of spouting whatever at the back there. I'm being all serious. Yep, going to break, all that stuff. But great to have you by my side for this one. Any last things you want to say before we send it off?
Listen, I love Troll Adam. Troll Adam coming out on the broadcast is W Adam in my humble opinion. But yeah, nothing more. Love to get the insight there from Zeptic. Always love the mom shout out. Underrated. Got to say thank you to the moms in chat. Big support. Love that.
Always good to have that family support, no matter what you do, whether it be esports or normal sports or nothing at all. I guess if that's what you're up to, get the support nonetheless from the parents. But of course, we have to thank our support at the back. Cool Scoots, our observer, and Colton, our producer for tonight. Thank you to everyone here at ESU, as always, for setting this all up, giving us the opportunity to bring our style and flair to the broadcast. But of course, Thank you as well to Vincent for being my co-caster today. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday evening. We'll see you next time. Good night, everyone.